Thank you, George. And can I just say, as others have said, the reasons why people voted as they did in this referendum are complex. But what is clear is that the areas that voted for leaving were the poorest areas of the United Kingdom. Areas where globalisation had meant that the previous manufacturing base had disappeared, where jobs, if there were jobs at all, were low paid and insecure. Many people in these areas had little incentive to vote for the status quo. And the mantra from the Brexiters and much of the media was, let's blame the immigrants, let's blame the European Union. And it fell on fertile ground in those areas. In terms of income inequality, Britain has been mimicking the United States in recent years, over the last couple of decades, with income at the very top having shot ahead such that the top 1% have swallowed 60% of income growth since 2003. Significantly, Theresa May, who is likely to be our Prime Minister in a few hours' time, recognised these issues about inequality and said on Monday, before she knew she was elected, and opposed that she wanted to tackle inequality, govern for everyone, not just the privileged few. So we must give her the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, I would have to say that she has been part of a government that has done nothing to address inequality to date. And as Home Secretary, she has been responsible for immigration for the last 6 years. So what does this mean for British members of this committee? I'd hope but can't assume that there may be a way through what currently seems like the worst nightmare for so many of us in the UK. The TUC has called for a national action plan to protect jobs and workers' rights and issued a joint statement with the CBI calling on the government to take action to secure jobs and investment. But it also needs the EU to recognise it has to change. A special ETUC meeting earlier this week in London recognised that if the far-right populist parties are not to gain ground, if the anti-EU sentiment is not to spread further in Europe, politicians have to ensure that the EU fundamentally changes, to reconnect with its citizens, to relaunch itself with reforms that promote transparency, democracy, equality, and decent working and living standards for all. We haven't gone yet, and we appreciate George's statement very much that he gave us, recognising that we remain full members of this committee until Brexit actually happens. So we are still here. We want to continue to play our full part in the work of the committee, working for an EU that works for all its citizens, an EU that must turn its back on austerity, and an EU that has to deliver on sustainable growth, quality jobs, and hope for the future. Thank you.
Thank you.